What's up, guys? I'm going to recap the last 3 days of trading, including this morning, the trades that I took that are about to make me pass my 7th account in a couple days. Anyways, this was my Monday trade. It took me like 2 minutes to get into this. Just obviously looking back, see that we've developed on gold in a new downtrend, and I was looking for some kind of entry confirmation. So I like to see it move into a trend line. I like to see it move up with the trend line and then break it. And I want to see like a little higher low. Wait, lower high in this instance. So this is the trade. I got in a little late, but we had a strong break and retest and break of that. So bread and butter, got to take it. Stop here just for like variations, right? Because there can be like volatility, and there was. After it pushed down here and then walked back up, I did get a little sketched out, but then it broke down and I moved all my stops to here because this is the actual support, right? It's just testing the support. And this was a 4.5% trade, and it happened pretty quick. I wasn't even looking at it, and it ended up being better than technically a 4-to-1 because I was able to move my stop up to here. So that's what it ended up progressing into, and that's how I'm mitigating my risk. That's why I continue to stay like profitable. Okay. So on this downtrend, I was looking at the footprint order blocks, and I could see that there were some big sell orders right here at the bottom, and then a lot of active buying, which tells me there are trapped sellers. And so I'm anticipating this is actually going to be a turnaround for an uptrend on a retest of this. Why? Because we had an aggressive rip down and it pushed back up and put a higher low. This is pretty bullish. So on Tuesday, which is yesterday afternoon, I see that it had walked back up into the trend line, and I took 7 trades in a row, and the last one was a winner. And then I moved to GBP, JPY. But I want to walk through this on the replay. Okay, so let's get into the bar replay. These TP1s are irrelevant at this point. I was about to put them in. So I'm looking for a test at the trend line, a break, and then an entry. So here I got a long entry, or I'm sorry, a short entry. I took a short entry here. And I saw a retest. I was tempted to move my stop here, but I did not. On this breakdown here, I added with my stop above this structure, and I was stopped out for a 0.3% loss. This is for a 100-point target, so I was looking for 100 points on this one. As it moved back up, it pushed back down through here, and I'm going to give it one more chance. If I see a bullish close, I'm going to close out. I closed out here, initially risking 0.7%. I took a 0.5% loss. So now I'm down 0.8% on the day. And I entered this trade because I'm thinking this could run, and I'll probably have an opportunity to move my stop to break even. As I enter, my stop is here. As it pushes up here, I move my stop to here. Okay, and then as it continues to push, I move my stop just below break even, and I end up taking a 0.1% loss. Right there. So I'm thinking this is starting to look like a head and shoulders. We have a shoulder area where it's actually held, and we have an aggressive push back down. And I enter short, risking 0.7%. I add here on this break with my stop here. As it pushes here, all my stops move up. I have initial 0.7% risk on all trades. Risk adjusted 0.2% for a 4 to 5% profit target. And I am looking for this to come down and interact with the top of that buy-sell volume. And as you can see, it just started doing a little walk up, which is generally where I look to take longs when I see an aggressive drop, and then it starts to walk back up and I get a breakout bar. So it started to walk back up and it broke out right around here. All my stops were almost break even, so I ended up taking a 0.2% loss. So right now I'm down 1.1% on the day, which is pretty good given that I just took technically 5 losses in a row. And here is my one win that was decent. I see that it's holding here, holding, it's walked back down, I see it's flagging out, I get this confirmation bar and I enter, and I decide that because it pushed so hard, I'm not gonna wait for a pullback, I'm gonna enter long on a potential pullback and take it there. So I close out for a 1.25% win, and then I see this happen. This is an aggressive pullback and an aggressive push up. So what that tells me is that this is a volatility area, and on a break out of it, on a retest, I should be looking to enter for a continuation long. But I did not re-enter here because I did not like the volatility. Mainly because I didn't recognize this pattern. That's a big thing. If I can't see something, I'm not gonna lie to myself and tell myself that I do see something. So again, I saw this walking up, and I get another head and shoulders situation. And I enter here short, and I'm immediately stopped out for almost a full loss on this one. And I don't know what the risk was here because I got tired of typing it. But I want to say now I've pretty much just come right back down to right around down 1% on the day. And then I took this long, and I ended up closing this out for a 0.5% win, a little bit more because it just pulled back down too aggressive. And my long targets were interacting with this area. As it pushed up and gave me this double top, I closed right here. And then guess what happened? I want to show you this because it came right back down to that expected volatility area, and then it's been running ever since. And it did end up hitting my target, right? And it just kept going and going and going. And then GBP, JPY, these were my trades yesterday. I was anticipating that after this downtrend, we've had this aggressive push up and we had this aggressive dump. I'm expecting that it's going to continue dumping, but I want to see it interact with this, we'll call it the fair value gap. That's what everybody loves these days. This area in here, this area between 0.1 and 0.2, I was expecting there would be some kind of tension, and I was also anticipating that we would interact with this consolidation area where it ripped through and dumped. That was my first TP1. My second TP is here, all right? This is ambitious, and so is this. So my first and my second TP. As it starts to pull down into this area, I'm looking for it to break the channel, but I want to make sure that it touches this area first. So as it pushes up and it starts to break down, I put a trigger, an alert here, and an alert here. When it comes back and I see that it's broken it, I move my alert here and my alert here. As it comes down and break it, I come back and look, I move my alert here, and I move my alert here. It breaks it and pushes up. It's officially inside the box now. So I take a long position here on this push, and then second push, I go long and I put my stops here. As it pops, I move my stop up because I just don't want to risk this dumping on me. As it dumps on me, I take a small loss, and now I'm down 2% on the day. I see it's doing this, and I see it pushes, and then aggressively pushes right back up. I anticipate that it is in fact going to hold this level, and I get a really tight stop here, and my profit target is here and here. As it moves up and breaks this channel, I anticipate that it's going to continue higher. As it comes up to here, I move my stop to break even. It runs out of steam and it prints this bear bar where I end up closing the trade for a small win. Then I see that I have my alert now. I set an alert here and I set alert here. As it breaks it, I come back and look at my computer and I see that it's just tapped through this area here. And now I'm looking to see if there's actually strength to reclaim the area. I see that we get an aggressive break here with follow through. I enter, stop here, and I'm looking for that TP1. As it moves into the TP1, I close the entire trade because I'm tired at this point, and that was my trade for the day. And it ended up coming right up to that area and missing it, so thankfully I got out of the trade, and it dumped. And now this morning, the trade that I took, I see this break, I see that it's moved down, and I want to tell you what I'm looking at. And I was looking at the 15-minute when I woke up this morning. Good Lord. So, downtrend, aggressive conversion, support, support, all right, and then this is the liquidity pull. I see that it's starting to trend up, and I always like these. So we have a push down, it's an inverse head and shoulders. This, anywhere on this area, it's a good buy zone. These are trades I'm really, really confident in. And as it puts in this second shoulder and it's walking up, I anticipate that it's going to walk in somewhere against this trend line and hold these 3 candles. So I enter here, small, and as it starts to move down, I add to my position and I take a couple small losses because I want to mitigate my risk. So my stop is under this break, or under this break, I'm sorry. I enter here. As it pulls down here, I close out a small portion of my trade, I think 25 to 30% of my trade. As it comes down here and pushes up, I buy again. It comes down a little bit. I close one more trade for a 0.1% loss, and then it starts to hold it. And as it pushes up here, I add again, quite heavy. I think I take 3 more lots. I'm sorry, 3 more positions. I'm trading 0.25 lots on this. And I move, as it pushes up here, pulls back and moves like this, I officially move all my stops from here to here. And here's my add. So now my trade went from being a 1.68 to a 3, and this one is a 15 to 1. As it moved into TP1, I put all my stops at break even. So all my stops were at their respective break even points, not all break even here from the first entry. And I took the majority of my position off at TP1. And I am looking for it to come in and interact with my initial TP1 area from yesterday at 191.7. And I am currently in this trade. And those are my trades for the day. I just want to recap. I am risking 0.5 to 1% on every trade. However, the majority of my losses are under 0.2% or 0.3% on all my accounts. So my trade expectancy is consistently above a 2. Even though I win 30 to 40% of the time, I'm still making tons of cash. I'm still making tons of percentages, rather. I'm making 3 to 4% a day on my big trades. And when I have repetitive losses, even if I have 5, 6, 7 losses in a row, I'm still only losing 0.25%, usually maximum. And this is what's allowing me to be profitable, is I'm looking for excuses to move my stop to break even. So again, here I had a wide stop, small position. I was expecting that it was going to tear some support, hold a different support, and I was looking for a pattern I am familiar with. As it pushed and started to walk up, this is a pattern I'm familiar with, a slow walk back up, a pullback, and a break. So I see this, goes up, pulls back, breaks. I say to myself, I am comfortable moving my stop under here now because this is something that I'm very confident in. An aggressive push down, a walk up, and a break up. That U shape, that check mark. So now I can move all my stops up, and I can go from risking 1% to risking 0.5% or much less. Or I can add to my position now that I'm more confident and move all my stops up there. And now instead of potentially making 2%, I can make 4 or 5% and still risk that same 1%. As it moves up, it's now a risk-free trade, and I've already made 3% on it on the day, and I'm still looking for another 2%. And this is how I've consistently grown my accounts, and it's been freaking awesome ever since I realized this. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in and watching these videos. If you have any questions or you have any particular videos you want to see me film, please ask me, and I have all the time in the world to do it. Anyways, take care.